My mother came over about 50 years ago and bought a hotel which is since defunct. We sold it in the mid-80s.
The one that we see there?
Yeah.
Correct,
We sold that in the mid-80s.
Yeah.
I stayed in the village, so I've been here for 50 odd years.
And where did you come from before that?
From London.
Right.
I'm born and bred London.
I see.
I saw you had a Facebook post about invasive species on the lake, which has been a major problem for many years now. As you said, I mean, there's zebra mussels in the lake, there's quagga mussels, and my old friend Dan Minchin, who I think you have met, Dan would tell you.
We did a talk with him in Killaloe.
Dan would tell you all about Asian crabs and shrimps and all sorts of stuff in there, which shouldn't be there. And the problem is that in this country we really don't have any proper way of stopping them getting into the country. I mean, between Northern Ireland and here, we are an island, and it should be possible to keep these things out of an island. But there really isn't one authority that is responsible for invasive alien species. It should be the NPWS, and hopefully will be
NPWS, just remind me what
National Parks and Wildlife Service. And hopefully will be, because the NPWS was badly funded for many years, but has recently been funded to a greater extent. So hopefully they will be able to take over this properly and deal with it properly. Because, for instance, there's nothing to stop people. You know, if you buy a goldfish and you go into the pet shop and you buy a goldfish, you know, a nice tank for it, and you get nice little bit of green stuff for the goldfish to swim around in. Then eventually, one day, the goldfish dies. So what do? You throw the whole lot down the loo, and the next minute it pops up in a lake somewhere, and it's actually Japanese weed of some description. It starts growing, and this has happened. It happened in some of the lakes up further up north, and there's no real means of stopping this. So there needs to be a proper way of stopping these things getting in. The zebra mussels came in, they reckon, on the bottom of boats that were being brought into the country and had come from somewhere where they originated. I think they originated down
Ukraine, I think.
It could have been Ukraine, yeah.
Somewhere in the Caucasian Sea.
Well, and then they got across, and then eventually, somebody would have brought them in just, unknowingly, attached to the bottom. The next minute, right up and down the lake. But
there are so many of them now on all of these pontoons. If you just scrape the outside of them, it's just and it's zebra mussels and quagga mussels.
Quagga mussels are newer than zebra mussels, or newer here. Anyway. But the other side of it is that they have changed the ecology in the lake. I've lived here for 50 odd years in Dromineer, as you can see. It's a great place to live. And in the mid-80s, I started to notice that the lake was getting eutrophic, which means there was too much fertilizer, basically, either phosphorus and or nitrates getting into the water, and that was then causing algae to grow, because algae are just plants, and you fertilize them and they grow same as any other plant. So that was becoming a problem. And myself and a local man who unfortunately has passed away for a while now, Colonel Michael Gill, who was a great ecologist, lived down towards Tobona. Back in the mid-80s, on putting together to try and get the government to take on board the fact that this was happening. And it did result in, there has been a change over the years on agricultural practices. It needs to be changed more, because the amount of nitrates and phosphates getting into the water is considerably less, but it's still above the European requirements for the Water Framework Directive. So more work must be done, but it is being done, so that's a good thing. But Michael spent a lot of his life on this, that unfortunately fortunately or unfortunately, and in those days you couldn't see the bottom of the lake. somebody introduced, or zebra mussels were introduced into the lake, and they ate all the algae. So suddenly the lake was now clean. It still had high levels of phosphorus and nitrogen in it, but you could actually see the bottom. But that changed the ecology, because before the problem was with the algae, which is at the top of the lake surface. Now, because the water was cleaner, the light was getting deeper into the lake, and plants which had been struggling at the bottom of the lake suddenly got sunlight, and they went oomph, and the next minute we're getting fronds of the stuff out. You can occasionally, if you go out into the lake, you might find a patch a couple of 100 yards wide of floating weeds. That's what they are. And so that changed. And the other side I'm not quite sure of is what happens to a zebra mussel when it dies. Does it sink to the bottom of the lake? I don't know. So I don't know if anybody's ever done any research into that.